unprecedented slowdown in global economic activity during the first quarter of 2020 due to COVID-19, with the lockdown measures, confinement measures that were put in place, leading to this unprecedented slowdown. What we saw in Q2 is that markets made an impressive comeback off March lows. So this risk-on environment was brought forth by the fact that investors had optimism with a flattening of the COVID-19 curve, confinement measures that had begun being lifted, along with extraordinary fiscal and stimulus measures that were put in place across the board. So while the Fiera Global Equity Strategy was up in absolute performance, it did lag the index over the quarter after having protected a significant amount of capital during Q1. So our relative underperformance was mainly driven by our security selection in consumer discretionary, in information technology, and in healthcare sectors. Partially offsetting these negatives, however, was our security selection in the financial sectors with companies like Moody's, which did extremely well, where Moody's continues to have solid issuance levels and its analytics business remains very strong with solid organic growth. The Fiera U.S. equity strategy generated strong absolute returns and performed relatively in line with the index. So partially contributing to our performance was our strong security selection within the financial sector, while our underweight position in information technology, as well as our security selection, so mainly names that we don't own within the sector, negatively contributed to performance. One of the top performing names during the quarter was Lowe's. So Lowe's saw a surge in demand in their PPE related equipment, so personal protective equipment, as well as they saw a shift in consumer spending. So whereas consumers were no longer able to travel, they started placing more money into home improvements and home renovations, which increased the demand for Lowe's products. So the last item that I wanted to speak about today is corporate governance. Corporate governance for the global equity team has long been an area where they place great importance, and that's really been an integral part of the quality assessment of a company that they would ideally like to hold on to for the next 10 to 15 years. Culture of an organization is extremely important to the team. We believe that everything ultimately starts from the top. So whether it be the integrity of a company, the company's ethics, its fairness, all starts from the top of an organization. So we look to identify companies that have very strong culture, very sound standards of corporate governance. Now, one of the ways that we're able to see a window into the soul of a corporation or understanding the culture of an organization is simply by opening up a proxy circular. So we believe that proxy voting is an extremely important tool that allows us to get an appreciation of the culture of the company. So that is why this is something that the lead PM, as well as the analysts covering the company, will do themselves in accordance to the individual context of that specific company.